Before coming to the College of New Jersey, I took a gap year in Israel on a program called the Young Judaea Year Course. In the 10 months that I was abroad, I lived in Jerusalem, Bat Yam, a suburb of Tel Aviv, and in Haifa, on a youth village where I volunteered as a goat shepherd. A lot of my time was spent hiking, camping, surfing, cooking, learning Hebrew, and exploring the country. During the Bat Yam portion of my year, I lived in an apartment complex with 7 friends from my program. One weekend, 5 of us decided to go camping in the Carmel Mountain Nature Reserve near Haifa. Now, something important to know about the weekends in Israel is that on Shabbat, the weekly holiday of rest, everything in most cities shuts down. This means that on Friday afternoon, trains and buses stop running, grocery stores and restaurants close, and they don't open up again until Saturday evening after sunset. Friday came around. We hopped on the last train to Haifa and almost missed the last bus to Mount Carmel because someone wanted to buy more beer. Not a decision we regret, though. When we got off the bus, we hiked to the entrance of the reserve, where we were greeted by a sign that said, "No campfires allowed, no staying after dark." There was no train or bus to take us back, and we had come that far, so we just kept on going. Not long after we continued our hike, we saw a dog chasing after a car being driven by an elderly man.
Oi!
Strange, but I guess that's one way to keep your dog fit when you are too weak to walk him. After a couple of hours of hiking, we found a relatively flat area with a beautiful view. We thought it would be a good spot to make camp, so we gathered some wood, put up our tent, and relaxed with some beers around the campfire as we watched the sun go down. At the end of the night, after positioning myself between the 4 other guys in our tent fit for 3, I was on the verge of finally falling asleep when I was disrupted by a gut-wrenching sound coming from every direction. Maybe there was a reason why we're not supposed to be here after dark, we thought. Luckily, my friends and I were not on the menu that night, but we didn't get any sleep either. Early that next morning, we packed up and started the day's hike, passing captivating fields of flowers and glamorous greenery. We even came across a place called the Palestinian Final Fortress, which we now know is a British bunker that was used in World War II. When we stopped for lunch and a potty break, we heard some rustling in the nearby bushes. We assumed it was a dog. It was not. It was a wild forest cow. This cow just so happened to be going in the same direction that we were, so we followed it from a distance, and imagine our surprise when it led us to the rest of the herd of wild forest cows just chilling in between the trees. No way, Jose! We continued on and realized that we were running out of water. We hiked until we got to a nearby village where we found a man getting into his car. We approached him and said in Hebrew, "Excuse me, sir, is there any place where we can buy some water?" He said to us, "Come into my uncle's house, they'll let you fill up." The next thing we knew, we were sitting down to a full meal. The wife kept on apologizing for not having more food prepared for us sooner, which is funny because she didn't even know we were coming. We didn't even know that we were coming. And if 5 sweaty men knocked on a door in America, I'd be willing to bet that the woman answering the door would not invite them in for a meal. With food in our bellies and water in our bottles, we thanked our new friends and continued on our hike towards Haifa. It was when we were passing by an army base that we decided to do what most people do on Shabbat: go to the beach. So to end what was one of the greatest and strangest weekends that I have ever had, we went back to civilization, laid down on the sand, and watched another one of Israel's beautiful sunsets.